5 high-level things you have to know when it comes to losing fat, especially as we get older. Hey guys, Mark Mcilyar with Live Anabolic, and today I'm going to talk about 5 high-level things that no one really tells you about losing fat, especially after the age of 50. And guys, let's just jump in to the first thing right off the bat. It's more important now than when we were young to lose fat. Doesn't that suck? That's kind of the bad news. When you're young, you can kind of afford to put on unnecessary pounds because it's so much easier to lose when you're young. And I probably don't even have to tell you that, all right? It's much harder now. It's much harder for me to lose fat. I'd really like to lose 5 pounds, and it's been going kind of slow lately. But it's more important as we age because especially once your body fat gets too high, and I'm talking an extra 20, 30 pounds, okay, that can really adversely affect your testosterone level. I mean, most men don't realize this, but having too much fat on your body creates enzymes that actually lower your T levels, and they also help increase your estrogen level. And so the lower you can get your body fat, the better it is for your energy levels and your testosterone and your self-confidence, okay? And then when that happens, it makes it even easier to lose more fat, right? Because the higher your T level, the more efficient your body is at burning fat. And I know this, it's kind of a chicken and egg issue that I'm talking about. So, how do you lose fat? Well, you need to increase your testosterone, but if you have too much fat, it lowers your testosterone. But once you start going in the correct direction, okay, in this case, losing fat, it actually makes it easier to increase your testosterone. It also means you'll have a little bit more energy. And when you have more energy, guess what? It makes it easier to exercise. And then when that happens, it makes it even easier to lose fat, which means you'll get even more testosterone. It makes you have more energy. And see how it's a self-reinforcing upward spiral of benefits. And of course, it's exactly the opposite. If you start putting on fat, then your T levels start to go down and your energy levels start to go down. And guess what? That makes it much harder to exercise, okay? So tip number 1, I know this might seem self-evident, but guys, you really have got to start losing body fat. And there's lots of techniques for that. And use the search feature right on this YouTube channel because Gary and I give you dozens of ways to accomplish this. All right, number 2 revolves around cardio, okay? The traditional way of thinking for decades has been, all right, you want to lose fat? Go out there and start jogging, all right? And you see people doing it, just jog and jog and jog and jog. There's a lot of chubby people jogging, right? Every year, I guarantee you, in your city, they put on a marathon for some charity. And there'll be thousands of people out there. There'll be some serious people that are running, and they win. They're at the front. And then you got the amateur class, the thousands and thousands that are coming in, over 4, 5, 6 hours. And it's amazing when you watch the finish line on the news that night, how many chubby people, how many overweight people can run 26 miles. And it isn't like they just went out and ran that day and did the marathon for the first time. They've been training for that marathon for months, meaning they're doing cardio, steady state, slow cardio for months to get ready to run 26 miles, and they're still chubby. So that tells me that's not a real efficient way to lose body fat. What's way better, and this is the good news, guys, is this is so much quicker and easier. So get rid of or minimize that long, boring, steady state cardio, the jogging, and pick up the weights. Weight training, resistance training, all right? So much more effective. Plus, you get the benefit of building muscle, all right? Guess what else it does? It increases your testosterone level. And that goes back to tip number 1. So lift weights, do resistance training instead of spending hours jogging every week. And then when you want to do your cardio, instead of doing the slow, steady state where you can just do it forever, do high intensity interval training. It's called HIIT. And then you just type that in the search feature right here on this channel, and Gary and I give you tons of great HIIT workouts. Okay, so this is not a details video. These are kind of high level points I want you guys to think about. But lifting weights and high intensity interval training, I think, is way more effective than slow, steady state cardio where you have to just jog miles and miles and miles every week. All right, tip number 3, guys, you gotta really clean up your nutrition. So there's, once again, this is a high level video. Gary and I have got tons of great videos for you, for specific examples of what to eat and what to avoid. But just generally speaking, you need more micronutrients, okay? We're not getting enough of those in our regular diet, especially guys that are not really on top of your food intake. And that's like, what, 99% of the people watching right now? And that includes myself about half the time, all right? So more whole foods, less processed food, more nutrients is really gonna help you lose fat. But the problem is it's hard to get all those micronutrients, all right? It's hard to eat all the fruits and vegetables because that's a daily thing. You just can't do that 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, that's lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. That's hard. And so just try a supplement, guys. This is what I take. This is what our company makes. It's called Greens. It's a greens powder. You just mix it with water, okay? It's got, I think, over 40 fruits and vegetables and other micronutrients, mushrooms and all kinds of other stuff in it. Click the link below this video because it'll take you to our website where it has all the information about this. So I don't even try to memorize what's in our supplements. It's just way too much stuff. But we do a very good job on our website of explaining what's in there and why we put it in there. All right. All that stuff is put in there based on scientific studies. Okay, so we're not just kind of winging it and going on the internet. We're building our formulas with experts, basically. And then the other thing is, guys, when you click on it and you're reading about the supplement, scroll down a little bit further below, and that's where you get all the reviews, the people who've actually bought our product over the years. And I mean, it's amazing how many fantastic reviews. It doesn't work for everybody, okay? I think supplements work for the majority of men, but it depends on your genetics and your current nutritional intake. So if you're really on point with your food intake, you're probably not going to benefit as much from taking a supplement. But how many of you guys are really eating super sharp every day of the week? All right. So if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't matter. We have the best guarantee in the industry. Nobody else does this. Shoot us an email, we'll refund your money. But I guarantee you the vast majority of you guys will definitely see a benefit. And then look at those reviews. Those men are actually telling you what the results were. It's not just losing fat. A ton of them are talking about how much more energy they have and how affected their libido and their sex life. And I mean, it just kind of goes on and on. So doesn't hurt. This is the easiest of all the tips because it takes you, 60 seconds to put 1 scoop of this in some water and drink it. Might as well try it. Number 4, guys, is you have to eat more protein. This is one of the hardest things for me to do on a daily basis. Because I weigh 195 pounds, I need roughly 140, 150 grams of protein a day. Because I'm really hitting the weights hard and I'm trying to build muscle. And that's hard to get that much protein. Now, I do it by also taking a protein supplement, all right, a whey protein powder. But guys, you have to constantly be thinking about how much protein are in your meals and snacks throughout the course of the day, because it doesn't make sense to kick ass on your workouts, all right, and then only get 50% of the muscle building benefit because you're not getting enough protein in your diet. And if you don't know this already, your muscles have to have protein to rebuild and repair. So your body breaks the protein down that we eat every day into amino acids, and it uses those amino acids to regrow those damaged muscle fibers. That's what we do when we work out. We actually damage our body. And Protein is the only thing your body can use to repair and grow muscles. Now, your body uses carbohydrates and fats as a source of energy for those muscles to contract, all right? But it needs protein to build and repair. And if you're not getting enough, you're just not getting the benefit out of your workouts. And the other thing is, guys, protein is a thermogenic food, meaning it creates heat. It takes a lot of energy to digest protein. Carbohydrates and fats are real easy to digest, all right? They don't take as much energy. So you actually burn calories digesting the calories of protein that you ingest, okay? And then the other thing is protein makes you feel satiated or food, so it fills you up, all right? And that's one of the reasons we overeat, is because we don't feel full, all right? So if you have a bunch of high protein snacks laying around, when you get those munchies, dude, eat protein instead of the carbs and fats. It'll make you feel full, and you'll get the benefit out of your workouts. Okay, the fifth and last one I'm sure you're glad to hear. Guys, you have to track what you're eating. You need to know how many calories, how many grams of protein that you're getting in a typical day. All right, a lot of y'all are rolling your eyes. Tough shit, all right? It's harder to lose fat as we get older, all right? So you're just gonna have to suck it up and do this. But you only gotta do it for one day. That's the difference, okay? Some of these other trainers, some of these other guys, they're making you write down everything you eat every day, and that's a pain in the ass. Nobody's gonna do that. I don't do that. But if you know, generally speaking, how many calories you're eating in a normal or typical day, then you know pretty much what you're eating throughout the week. I mean, it's gonna be up and down, yeah, but you need to have a good feel for what is your normal daily intake. And you only have to do it for one day. Now, you might do this once every 6 months. Track one day, write down everything you eat for one day and drink. All right, write it down. At the end of the day, you're gonna use 2 apps. The links to those apps are below this video in the description, okay? So you're gonna have to look up on the app, you know, how many calories and how many grams of protein are in all these foods and liquids that you've drank throughout the day. And you just add it up, all right? Now you're gonna know, oh, on a normal day, all right, you ate 2,200 calories or 2,500 calories. And how many grams of protein? You got 110 grams of protein, all right? So now you know, generally speaking, what you're ingesting, all right, on a normal day. You have to have a starting point, all right? Now, let's say your body weight is staying pretty steady. So that means you're burning about as many calories every day as you're taking in, all right? You're breaking even. You know how many you're eating on a normal day. Now what I want you to do is subtract 500 from that. So if you're ingesting 2,200 calories on a normal day, 500 below that is 1,700 calories. That is what you should shoot for now, going forward, if you want to lose fat. So how did I come up with that 500 calorie per day deficit? It's because it's relatively easy to get rid of 500 calories a day. It's not a massive amount. And it's not such a big amount that your body will go into starvation mode and try to slow its metabolism down. You can kind of trick your body by ingesting 500 fewer calories per day than you spend, all right, in energy. And then take that number, 500, multiply it by 7 days a week. That's 3,500 calories per week that you're eating less than you're burning, right? Guess what that means? That's 1 pound of fat. 1 pound of fat equals 3,500 calories. And that's a very rough approximation, guys. It's not, all this stuff I'm telling you is not perfect science, because everybody is so different. I mean, you know that. Genetics play a huge role in this. And the type of calories that you're eating play a huge role in it. But that's a really smart, intelligent way to try to lose fat. If you could lose 1 pound of fat a week, that is fantastic. Don't try to go any faster than that. It works for some guys to go more, all right? Their body just responds, but a lot of guys, when they cut their calories too much and I'm going gung-ho. I'm just going to starve myself to death, all right? They'll lose fat for a few weeks, then their body will go into starvation mode. It doesn't know that you're going to eat again, and it slows its metabolism down, all right? Now you have a slower metabolism. You're eating fewer calories, but now you're breaking even. You're not losing any fat. And then it screws things up. You have to reset your metabolism by raising your caloric intake, and it's a whole nother video. So guys, 5 high-level things you have to know when it comes to losing fat, especially as we get older, guys. And guess what? Those were not that hard. You know, there's a lot of, I have a lot of videos, and on our Facebook group, we have a lot of rah-rah, a lot of positive stuff. And that's how I am 90% of the time. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm just ready to kick somebody's ass. I'm tired of people complaining, oh, that's too hard. I don't want to keep track of my calories. That's just too much. Bullshit, that's 15 minutes out of one day, all right, to track your calories, all right? Tough shit. It's getting harder. We're getting older. You need to be more mindful. You need to put more effort into it. It's just not as easy as it used to be. So suck it up, guys. You can do it, especially if you stick with it and never give up on yourself.